Question number 3, James Shaw.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker.
Tēnā koe.
Tēnā koutou e te whare. Ko taku pātai ki te pirimia a ka ui, ka tua aia I ronga I tāna I kia whakaporongatia, suggesting the government needed to build more houses was a misplaced idea.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, I stand by my full statement, which was, I think if you ask the Minister of Finance, the first thing he will tell you is that by far the biggest asset of the Crown owns is government housing. I think there's $20 billion sitting in there broadly within Housing New Zealand. Secondly, I think the issue of the claim that the government should start building houses itself, I think would be a misplaced one. The Ministry of Works used to be the provider of roads and schools and houses in New Zealand. It wasn't a very successful model. It's been much better actually for us to go out there and to contract those services.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, James Shaw.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Why does he keep saying the government shouldn't build houses when previous governments have successfully built thousands of affordable houses for New Zealand families like the one he grew up in?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, because the private sector is well and truly equipped to build the houses. What they ultimately need, though, is planning laws that support that, council plans that support that, and infrastructure that can support those builds. All of those things are happening under this government, but I really seriously think if the member is telling us the answer to resolving the challenges in Auckland's housing, or housing indeed issues around the country, is to get people employed by the government as chippies building those houses, I think we'd be better to leave it to the private sector.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, James Shaw.
What's changed between last month when his Building and Housing Minister told a local Government New Zealand delegation that it would be wrong for central government to help out with infrastructure costs, and this month when he announced a $1 billion fund to help out with infrastructure costs?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, well, as is always the case with the quotes, and as I demonstrated with the one from the member before, they're often taken out of context. But, Mr Speaker, the government, and in fact the Minister, has been talking to local government New Zealand for over a year. These issues about infrastructure, these issues of infrastructure have been raised for quite some time, not only by mayors and councils but by others. And I would have thought the member would be applauding the fact that the government is making it easier for the councils actually to connect up the main infrastructure to allow affordable and other homes to be built.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, James Shaw.
Will the government prevent land banking and make sure houses actually get built in areas developed with the infrastructure fund, or will they look the other way while speculators make a quick buck like they did in the special housing areas?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Well, I think it's important to understand that the infrastructure fund is used for infrastructure that's built that connects these subdivisions ultimately to the core infrastructure. Developers still have responsibility for the infrastructure actually on the land that they develop. Interesting enough, if the member wants to ask the Minister of Housing, I'm sure he can give you the exact information, but I think of the 200-odd special housing areas, over 130 of them now have works actually on them. Land banking, is always an issue if there are potentially blockages in the system, but ultimately people only hold on to land for longer than they otherwise probably should do if it's such a long way out that they're taking an incredibly long-term view, or more likely than not actually that the price rise in land is faster than the cost of capital. By releasing a lot of land onto the market, as we did in Christchurch, you can demonstrate quite clearly they actually resolve that issue.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, James Shaw.
Are the government's musings about using the Public Works Act to take private land for housing a confession that he's let this crisis get totally out of control?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, no, the Minister of Housing was simply making the point that under a UDA, the powers of that UDA could be quite broad. It is always possible that within an area defined as part of an urban development authority, there could be one particular piece of land or block of land that might need to be acquired to allow the overall block to be developed, or there may need to be changes in designations like reserves, which could be then replaced somewhere else. But, Mr Speaker, that's not really the preference of the government, is to be riding roughshod over property rights. Our preference is always to negotiate with parties, but ultimately the member himself is admitting that this is a significant challenge and we do need to release more land faster.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, James Shaw.
When he said over the weekend that there is no room for government complacency. Is there a different word to describe a government that stood by while the average New Auckland house price shot towards $1 million and the number of people who are homeless increased to record levels?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, I don't think it would be a fair criticism to say the government stood back, that we have a record level of activity taking place. We have significant parts of the plan that actually the member's own party has resisted. And I think it's worth remembering that if you go back and have a look at the first 3 or 4 years when I was Prime Minister, the issue of housing was not a significant issue. What has turned around in that time is that New Zealand has become a much more attractive destination. Interest rates are lower. Optimism in the economy is very strong, and the government's policies are working, which is actually driving a lot greater demand in the New Zealand economy. So we have responded to that. That's why there's so many more houses being built in Auckland. Do we need to build some more? Yes, but we're working on that.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, James Shaw.
Amongst all of the announcements that this government is making about housing, why is the one thing that it consistently refuses to do is to actually build more houses?
Order. The Right Honourable
Speaker.
Prime Minister.
Well, I thank the member for confirming the government has a comprehensive plan to housing, because it does. Mr Speaker, the very point about building a house is not who employs the builder. It doesn't matter whether that's employed by a ministry in the government or Fletcher's. They still will face the same issues about the length of time it takes to put in infrastructure, the length of time it takes a council to issue the plans, the amount of land that's ultimately available, the infrastructure that's required to support that. The member seems to miraculously think that just because the cheque for the wages of a carpenter would come from a government department and not a private sector company, somehow it would make things go faster. They won't. If the member wants to go faster, then come and support the government and its RMA reforms.
Order. Question